Alright guys, the predictions video for my MLB Awards for 2025 is finally here. I'm recording this on March 26th, the day before opening day. I am so excited for baseball to be back. Opening day is one of the best days of every year. That is up there with my birthday and Christmas for sure. Now, I wanted to get this video out earlier, but I was on vacation and I got really busy with school right before I went on vacation, so I really did not have enough time for that. I'm sorry guys. Anyway, but it's finally here, so how I'm gonna do this is, since I'm recording this late, I want to give something extra to you guys. I'm not just gonna give who I think will win, but also an honorable mention who is not only very, very capable of winning, in my opinion. I just don't think that they will win, or I just think the other guy who I picked is gonna win has a better chance, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna get into it and it'll probably be clear to you guys as soon as possible. And excuse me if I sound a little sick or I can't speak. I literally my flight just landed like an hour and a half ago, and I just got home and I'm already recording this, so bear with me guys. So if you guys enjoy my videos, if you guys want to support me, please hit that subscribe button, man. It means the world to me to see the support on all my videos. It encourages me to make more of these. And so, yeah, let's get right into the AL awards. In the AL, we're going to start off with the AL Rookie of the Year. And our honorable mention is going to be my boy, Christian Campbell of the Boston Red Sox. And if you guys even keep up with any baseball news, you guys probably heard that Christian Campbell is making the opening day roster for the Boston Red Sox. Probably going to be playing second base there. And although the spring training numbers look kind of mid on paper, if you watch him play, he has a great plate discipline, he has a great plate approach, and he is sick defensively at second base. Now, in the outfield, I will say, it's not very good. However, I don't think they're going to play him there very often. I think that is played at a secondary position just for if the Red Sox need him to at a dire situation, they'll slap him out there. But last year in the minors, bro was raking at 3 different levels of the minor league system. It was crazy to see what him and Meyer did, and obviously Kyle Teal, who is now in the White Sox. But yeah, I think Christian Campbell is going to have a great season. He has a chance to win the Rookie of the Year. However, my actual pick is going to be Jackson Jobe of the Detroit Tigers, and I think it's really obvious on why I picked Jobe. I love Campbell, but Jobe is absolutely disgusting. I mean, guys, come on. Just starting off with his fastball, he throws at 100 miles an hour. That's already great. And then he drops in a slider, cutter, changeup. I mean, I think actually his slider is more of a sweeper, actually. But the cutter, change, sweeper, that 4-pitch combo has so much movement. He has a great delivery. Bro is a #1 overall pick. He played in the playoffs a little bit. Wasn't the greatest last year. However, he did have a little bit of experience. And I feel like with all that being said, he is just going to be a dominant force. Him, Scooball, and Jack Flaherty is going to be an amazing and disgusting 1-2-3 trio for the Tigers. And I feel like a lot of people are high on him. That a lot of the people, I'm included, and I feel like Jackson Jobe is going to take home this award in 2025. Now, going into the American League Delivery Man of the Year or Reliever of the Year or whatever the award is called, basically it's the best reliever for the league. And for my honorable mention, I have Emmanuel Clase. Now, some of you guys might be surprised about this pick, as he had a .61 ERA last year. He gave up 2 total home runs in the regular season. And notice how I said regular season, because he was a little bit shaky in the postseason. He gave up that huge home run, and he gave up a bunch of leads. He gave up a lot of runs, and in the regular season, it was a little scary how he was not getting as many Ks as you'd like for him to see. And obviously, it didn't matter because he threw 100 miles an hour and he got lots of outs easily. But the thing that worries about me is he had an 8 strikeouts per 9. Now, that's not bad, but I just don't think that with that number, I don't think he's going to have the same amount of success. I think he's still going to have like a really good season, maybe like a 2.5 ERA, and have like still 40 something saved, and that's still a great season. I just think there's going to be somebody better, and I think he's going to slightly regress. And the one person who I think next year is going to be better than Emmanuel Clase as a reliever is Felix the Mountain Bautista, and he is absolutely crazy. Bro is a giant. No matter which way you think about it, he can close any game out, and I think that if he comes in the game, you're down 1, it's over. In his first 126 innings in the big leagues, bro has a 1.85 ERA and a 14 strikeouts per 9, 198 strikeouts. That is crazy. A 5.4 WAR as a reliever in 2 seasons. He was hurt last year, but I feel like he's going to be healthy this year. He's going to close out games. The Orioles are going to be so much better with him other than using Craig Kimbrell. So I feel like the Orioles going to be saved by Felix the Mountain Bautista. Now, on to the AL Cy Young Award. This is an award that is obviously very highly contested, and I feel like this is going to be very controversial. You guys may or may not agree with me, but for my honorable mention, I've got last year's Cy Young Award winner, Tarek Skubal. And yes, I feel like he's still going to be really, really good, and I feel like he still probably could win if he just does everything again, obviously. However, that's no fun, and I feel like I have some reason to it, because before this year, he was nasty, but he hadn't been able to stay healthy. Now, knocking on wood, I hope he stays healthy, bro. He's so good, so fun to watch. But he's also been very inconsistent at times, and is prone to giving up a couple home runs at times, but I feel like he's still going to be really good. Now, the guy that I have winning the AL Cy Young, I think a couple people think that he's got a dark horse chance. I think he's got the best chance, is Cole Ragans, and he is just locked down, bro. Ever since he got traded from the Rangers to the Royals, he has probably missed 1 start total, maybe. He is so consistent. He strikes everybody out. He's got a nasty fastball, nasty breaking pitches. He's got everything in his arsenal, and I feel like he's a consistent 3-ish ERA guy, and I feel like if he takes one more step forward, he can just take home that award this year. Finally, for the big dog, the AL MVP award, I've got my honorable mention as Michael the Fish Boy Trout of the Angels. And now, I want to say this. I think he will win if he plays over 130 games. Like, I feel like, if he stays healthy for over 130 games, he'll win the MVP over the guy I pick. However, the only thing is, I don't know if he'll stay healthy or not, and based on his track record, doesn't look too great. However, in spring training, he has so far looked amazing, and he has looked healthy. They're moving, the Angels are doing the smart thing of moving him off of center field, and so I think he will have a really good chance. However, I'm going to have to go with my safest pick here, Mr. Gunnar Henderson, as my AL MVP for 2025. I mean, look at his stats last year, man. I feel like many people forget that he put up a 9-WAR season, because Bobby Witt was objectively, I can't say that, better than him. But he put up a 9-WAR season, he hit 37 homers, he batted over 280, he got on base, he took his walks, all that good stuff. He even stole 21 bases. I feel like he could definitely be a candidate for a 30-30 season next year. And I feel like he plays a lot. And I feel like Bobby Witt, although was better last year, I feel like Witt is in a better position to regress, if you know what I mean. I feel like I trust him a little more. If you had me pick between them, I would pick Henderson. I feel like he's got the higher upside, and Witt's just more consistent. So I feel like, as my pick, I'm going to pick Gunnar Henderson to win the AL MVP award. Alright, so now we're done with the AL side of things. We're going to get into the NL with, let's start off with our NL Rookie of the Year. Now, I'm not going to pick Roki Sasaki. Although I feel like he's probably the most obvious pick, I don't want to pick him because I feel like that's boring. So we're going to ignore him, and just for future reference, I'm also ignoring the GOAT Tani, because I feel like that's also boring if I just pick Ohtani as my MVP. So, we're going to start off with our honorable mention, which I'm going to give to Dylan Cruz. Now, Dylan Cruz, very good baseball player. He struggled a little bit in his small cup of coffee last season with the Nationals. However, he's way too good to do that bad. He's obviously going to do a lot better. Those few games doesn't dictate him. He is a plus hitter with plus power, I think is the quote that was used that I found. But he was selected, I think, second overall in the 2023 draft. And this year, prime time for him to break out. Perfect time for him to show the Nationals who they're going to build around alongside CJ Abrams and James Wood. But I feel like for my NL Rookie of the Year pick for 2025, I'm going with Matt Shaw of the Chicago Cubs, and there's multiple reasons why. First of all, he is going to be their everyday third baseman. Now, I feel like playing a lot doesn't just obviously justify him being my pick, but obviously, with that being said though, it guarantees him a spot unless he really stinks it up, which I don't think will happen. So that is a really big reason why I feel like he's gonna be a good pick, because he's just getting a lot of playing time. But also, last year in 121 games between AA and AAA, he hit 284 with 21 home runs and an 867 OPS. Now, those numbers are amazing and off the charts, and it looks even better when you dig into his 35 games in AAA, which he had a 929 OPS and 7 home runs. Reminder, this is 35 games. Obviously, this is just his AAA stats, so take it with a grain of salt. He only made his Major League debut this year because of the Japan series, I think. Yeah, Japan series. He went 1 for 9, I think, or something like that. He got his first hit, so that's good. But he hasn't really shown anything, so I feel like I can still pick him and not feel like that's cheating, because he hasn't really done much yet, but I feel like he will. Now, for my NL Delivery Man of the Year award, my honorable mention is going to be Trevor McGill of the Brewers. And some of you guys might not even know who this guy is, but let me tell you, this replacement for Devin Williams is going to be crazy. I mean, just look, the Brewers just do this all the time. It is not even fair. Like, he stinks it up with Cubs, he stinks it up with the Twins. The Brewers come in, swoop in, grab him up, and then in 81 games, or 81 innings, 79 games, he has a 3 ERA and has a FIP of 2.69, strikeout per 9 of 11. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. He gets lots of weak contact even when they make contact with his pitches. Now, last year he did have a slight walk issue that he kind of fixed a little bit, which is why I want to say that he's going to be better. He's always been inconsistent with the walks, but I feel like this year the Brewers are going to do his voodoo magic, going to make him even better, and then in 2025 offseason, maybe 2026 deadline, they're just going to ship him off again, just like what they did with Hader, just like what they did with Williams, and just cycle another reliever. I feel like Trevor McGill is next on the chopping block. And for my winner of the NL Delivery Man of the Year award, I've got Ryan Walker of the Giants, and he is disgusting. Just starting off with his insane arm slot, his unique delivery makes it really difficult to see where the ball is coming out of, and also it just makes the pitches that he throws look even harder. I mean, realistically, his sinker slider combo, I think he's a 2-pitch guy, it's sitting around average. Like, I think his sinker is like 94, 95. Slider has great movement, by the way, and it looks even more intimidating when it comes to lefties. It just looks like it's just gonna hit them, the lefties, and then the righties, it just starts off in the middle, goes away, and you look stupid while swinging at it. And his stats back it up. Last year, 1.91 ERA across 80 innings pitched. He walks nobody, strikes everybody out. He doesn't get any hard contact against him. I think he was, in terms of hard hit rate, he was in the 98th percentile. Really, really, really good. He gets lots of whiffs because of his pitches, and I feel like he is just a tiny bit of chase away from being quite literally the best reliever ever, because I think the only thing that he is missing right now is sometimes people don't really chase as much, which is why sometimes he gets a lot of just pitches thrown, but he gets so many strikeouts, man. I feel like it doesn't even matter. I feel like even without you chasing, he's still gonna strike you out, man. Like, he's just that good. Now, bring us over to our NL Cy Young Award, our penultimate award we're going over today. Our honorable mention is going to be Paul Skeens. I don't think I need to talk much about Mr. Paul Skeens here. You could just take a look at his stats. I feel like everybody's talking about him. The MLB glaze is actually crazy. However, I think that he's not going to win it this year simply because I think the Pirates are still a year away from actually being able to compete if they can sign anybody, because they didn't sign anybody. I feel like the Pirates are going to be careful with him this year, save him and save his arm, because next year I feel like they're going to call up Bubba Chandler, and that rotation with a healthy Jared Jones gonna go wild. So I feel like he's going to be a little limited this year, but I feel like if he's not limited and the manager, I don't even know who it is at this point, lets him go, bro, he might actually just win. However, for my NL Cy Young actual pick, I've got a pretty fun one in my opinion. I've got Michael King of the San Diego Padres. Now, I really want to go Zach Wheeler here because shout out to him. He's been consistent every single year. I feel like this is a little bit boring. I feel like he's going to be an obvious pick because he hasn't won one yet, and Chris Sale won one last year. He hasn't won one in a while, so I feel like naturally Zach Wheeler. But I'm going to go with Michael King here. I really like his stuff. He throws 5 different pitches, and if you look at Pitching Ninja, I think is what his name is, look at his videos, his pitches have so much movement, and then he goes with a really, really good 94 fastball that looks like it could probably be 100 miles an hour. His sweeper, slider, whatever it is, has tons of movement, and then his sinker and two-seam, I believe, those pitches go straight down the middle to start. It looks like the same pitch, but one breaks one way, the other breaks the exact opposite. That is absolutely devastating. Last year, in 31 starts, I believe, he had 201 strikeouts over 173 innings, 2.95 ERA, despite starting off the season leading the league in the most home runs given up. He still ended up with a 1.1 whip. That's crazy. Crazy work by Michael King. I feel like this year, if he starts off hot, finishes off hot, and doesn't tail off, that's the most important point. I can't have him tailing off, but I trust that this 29, 30-year-old guy will still be in his prime. I feel like this is the year that he wins the Cy Young. So, for our last award, MVP for the NL, I've got my boy Kyle Tucker as my honorable mention. Kyle Tucker, super underrated guy, or at least was until he got traded to the Cubs. Now everybody knows who he is. I feel like in a walk year, he's going to have his best season yet. He's going to be crushing baseballs. I feel like he might genuinely hit for like 40 home runs this year if he can stay healthy. And I feel like the Cubs gotta like extend him at some point, man. He's gotta earn that this year. And I feel like the Cubs would be absolutely stupid that they let Kyle Tucker walk. And this is my final prediction for the NL MVP. I've got Fernando Tatis Jr. I feel like Nando is finally due, man. I feel like he's got to win an MVP at some point, and I think he's going to be 27 this year. I feel like this is the year. He is so good in the outfield. He started off really, really slow, obviously. He looked kind of silly out there, but now he's got the crazy arm strength. He's got the crazy sprint speed. He's really fast. His reaction still could use some work, I feel like, but still very, very good. And then you get to his hitting. Man, he is one of the best hitters you can find. He only hit 21 home runs last year, which is a little surprising if you look at his baseball savant page. He hit the ball really hard. I think he just really needs to lift it up. And his bat speed, also, I think 88th percentile, very, very solid. Slugging, barrel rate, all very good. I feel like last year's stats on paper weren't really reflective of how good of a player he is. I feel like this year, he's going to do it. He's going to win the MVP. There you have it. There it is, guys. My final predictions for my awards for the 2025 MLB season. If you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys want to see more, want to support the channel, anything, hit that like button, hit that sub button. If we can get to 500 subs off of this video, that would be crazy. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that would be crazy, just saying. And yeah, subscribe, all that. I already said subscribe like 4 times. I'm sorry, guys. But see you guys in the next video. Peace out.